The 1996 Charkhi Dadri midair collision, also known as the Saudia Kazakhstan Airlines collision, was a tragic event in which two commercial flights, Saudia Flight 763 and Kazakhstan Airlines Flight 1907, collided in midair over Charkhi Dadri. Today we will talk about this terrible occurrence. On the evening of November 12, 1996, the skies over northern India seemed peaceful. A warm, clear dust blanketed the region as air traffic moved steadily in and out of Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi. But above the quiet village of Charkhi Dadri, located about 100 kilometers west of the capital, a terrible tragedy was unfolding, one that would become the deadliest mid-air collision in aviation history. At 6:32 p.m., Saudi Arabian Airlines Flight 763, a Boeing 747-100B, had just departed from New Delhi en route to Dhahran, Saudi Arabia. On board were 312 people, most of them Indian nationals working in the Gulf. Climbing steadily to its assigned altitude of 14,000 feet, the massive aircraft was under control of Indian air traffic controllers monitoring departures from the busy airport. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan Airlines Flight 1907, an Ilyushin Il-76 TD, was descending into New Delhi, arriving from Chimkent, Kazakhstan. Carrying 37 passengers and crew, the Il-76 was instructed to descend to 15,000 feet. In theory, the two aircraft should pass one another safely, separated by 1,000 feet of vertical distance. But in those crucial minutes, a fatal misunderstanding occurred. The Kazakh crew, who had limited English proficiency, relied heavily on their radio operator to communicate with Indian air traffic control. As Flight 1907 descended through Indian airspace, confusion about altitude instructions began to arise. The Kazakh pilots believed they had been cleared to descend to 14,000 feet, not 15,000. Without realizing their error, and without a functioning onboard traffic collision avoidance system, TCAS, to warn them, they continued to descend. Simultaneously, Flight 763 was climbing directly into their path. At 6:40 p.m., just 8 minutes after takeoff, the two aircraft collided mid-air at approximately 14,000 feet. The wing of the Kazakh Il-76 sliced through the left horizontal stabilizer of the Saudi Boeing 747. The collision was sudden and catastrophic. The Saudi plane lost control immediately and began to break apart, falling in flames to the ground below. The Kazakh aircraft, though still somewhat intact after the impact, also lost control and spiraled to earth moments later. The wreckage rained down over farmland near Charkhi Dadri. Local villagers rushed to the crash sites, but there were no survivors. All 349 people aboard both aircraft perished. The devastation was immense. Bodies and debris were scattered across the fields. The horror of the accident sent shockwaves across India and around the world. Questions arose quickly. How could two large aircraft collide in controlled airspace? What went wrong? The subsequent investigation, led by Indian authorities with assistance from international aviation experts, found multiple contributing factors. The primary cause was a Kazakh crew's descent below their assigned altitude, combined with lack of situational awareness and miscommunication due to language barriers. The Kazakh flight crew's limited English made it difficult to confirm critical instructions. Compounding this was a lack of a TCAS system on board either aircraft, a tool that would have warned both crews of the impending collision and allowed them to take evasive action. The tragedy led to sweeping aviation safety reforms in India and globally. Within a few years, India became one of the first countries in the world to mandate the use of TCAS on all commercial aircraft operating in its airspace. The International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, also emphasized the need for standard phraseology and language proficiency in English for international flights. For the families of the victims, however, no reforms could undo the pain. In Saudi Arabia, Kazakhstan, and India, hundreds of families mourned loved ones lost in an instant. In Charkhi Dadri, villagers remember the night as one of fire and sorrow, with the skies lit by falling wreckage. Today, the Charkhi Dadri mid-air collision stands as a somber reminder of the importance of communication, training, and technology in aviation. It changed the way air traffic is managed and reinforced a single haunting truth. that even at 14,000 feet, human error can have devastating consequences.